guys, today is Wednesday, January 19th, 2022. I'm taking a break today to edit some videos and also just a game plan for the next few days. Last night was very good. Saw 11 does in the stand, and that pine thicket proved to be really good. So I'll give you guys a quick story about that, and then we'll move on with today's story. I went to the pine bedding and it proved to be really good. Let's see, I was in a rush after checking the two cameras and then setting up on my way to the camera. I saw a bunch of poop, the most I've ever seen in my life out in the deer woods. So it was pretty much every couple steps you would see a new pile, and then along with those piles there were other piles too. So it was like a 60-yard by 60-yard square. It was just littered with deer poop. So I was pretty excited. I was trying to hurry up and get everything ready. So that was about 2:30 p.m. yesterday. And then I figured with that much poop in the area, there's got to be deer frequenting that area very, very soon, and probably all day long. So I got set up around 3:15 p.m. yesterday. And then right after that, 3:30ish, 15 minutes or so after I was done, the first set of 7 does came in. That was pretty cool. And they stayed around for about close to an hour. And then they kind of made their way off into the other side of the pine thicket. So after finding all that sign, I rushed to find a tree, but it was very tough to find a tree. There's a lot of vines and cricket trees that were not really good for my saddle setup. So I was trying to find a stand between 3, 4, 5 different trees. Finally, I picked a tree right in the middle of all the trails and poop, just because if I went to one side, then the other side I wouldn't be able to shoot, just because there were so many vines in the way, and vice versa. So I said, forget it. I'm just going to be aggressive and sit right in the middle. I was pretty scared and I guess anxious, because I wasn't so high up. My feet were at about 15 feet, and then I thought that if any deer were going to come in, they were going to just blow out because I wasn't too high in the tree. But it proved to be wrong, because they stuck around me for almost an hour, and then the closest one got to 5 yards, and then I could have shot any one of those 7. And then later around 4 o'clock, a small group of 4 does came in, still no bucks, and then they got downwind of me, and then they blew off. But then the first group of 7, they were still there just hanging around. So it proves that, just because a deer blows doesn't mean that your game is over for the day, because that first group of 7, they stuck around for another at least 15 minutes before they walked off. So that was a really good feeling that they didn't spook off with the other group. Yeah, so sitting in the tree, I figured there's a lot of poop. A lot of the poop was really big pellets and big logs of poop. It almost looked like human poop, but I smashed it with some sticks and rocks, and it was all green vegetation, so I knew it had to be some big deer in there. I figured it was just a matter of time. Maybe some buck of some sort would just show up just to let me know that that was the right spot or not. And after I checked the camera, I got home, opened up the SD card, and there is this shooter on there, and I was very excited to see him. There was also a forkhorn, small little bitty guy, but just nice to see him too. And then there was about 3 to 4 videos that were blurred out mid-morning the day before. So basically there was 3 videos, and didn't know what they were. It was too blurred out to see. So I don't know, that might have been the big boy, but you never know. So just good intel, a good feeling to know that the deer are in that area pretty heavy. So we have a good front today, and it's gonna drop pretty low tonight in the maybe low teens, if not lower, and that should get them up and moving today and tomorrow. So after looking at the SD card, I realized that buck, the nice 8-point, came in about 8:24 p.m. So that's about 2.5 hours after legal shooting light here. And so I figured the only way to pattern him would be to put up more cameras. But I'm not too worried about him because he's not a monster. If he comes in, I'll give a crack at him, but he's not a monster. So the only thing I know that I could do would be to put up maybe 3-4 more cameras. There's a big valley to the west, and then a big pine thicket to the northwest, and then also valleys to the direct north and northeast. So there's many ways he could have came in, and you just can't cover all that area. So it'd be pretty tough to really pattern that guy. One thing I did notice is that the wind was swirling pretty bad there. It was a south wind, but then when the winds came through the pines, it would swirl up and all over the place, from east to west, from west to east, north to south. And that group of doe, the group of 4 does, they did bust me because they got to the northwest of me, and then that wind got pulled down to them and they spooked and blew off. But the group of 7, they never knew I was there. So really, for my next set, I'm gonna have to pay a lot of attention to the wind and how it's gonna swirl. I'm just gonna keep on dropping milkweed and see where it goes from there. I think in that area you can't do anything about the wind. Either you hunt it and risk getting busted, or you just have to be passive and then not be able to shoot them because it's pretty thick in there. If you're on the edges and on the fringes of that pine thicket, you might not even be able to shoot them. You'll see them, but you'll never get a shot just because there's so many vines in the way, and it's pretty nasty in there. So my furthest shot yesterday was about 35 yards, and that's even pushing it. So my plan is to just keep visiting that area, maybe at least once a week, and then if it's good conditions and like light winds, I'll probably try to hunt it. I'm gonna keep checking the camera, and if it's really good, maybe I might put a second camera at a different angle just to see if any other deer are coming through there. I noticed that a lot of the deer, or all the deer, were eating little green bushy plants on the ground, and even though there was poop everywhere, they were still eating around the poop. And I'm not exactly sure what they were, but I could see some clover in the mix, but it was just pretty much browsing and eating whatever was green in that area. So my thought process was, okay, if there's all this poop here and there's small, big, medium, large sized poop, would there only be does, since that's all that I saw yesterday, or would there be bucks coming in? And I figured maybe there could be some bucks coming in. Maybe they're just not leaving as much sign, but I knew just from the size of the poop that some of those that were left behind had to be decent sized, to, if not big bucks. So it's just a matter of catching them on camera, and then also being in the stand at the right time on the right day, and hopefully he just walks through and then I get a crack at him. But the thing that changed my mind was after I saw that nice 8-point walk through at nighttime, I knew for sure that there had to be other bucks walking through there along with the forkhorn. So gonna be exciting. I'm gonna check the camera again tomorrow, and then we'll see what else pops up on the camera. With this cold weather coming in and the winds, they should be moving really good. They should be feeding heavy too. So I'm pretty excited to go check the camera and maybe just adjust it, if not add another one there, and see what happens. So my brother-in-law asked me, is that an area that we've hunted before, or would it be good for the pre-rut or the rut? And I answered him. I said it was my first time ever sitting there. I've walked past it many times and I marked it on my Onyx maps, but from what I saw, I realized that maybe it could be a really good pre-rut and rut area, just because I saw from the stand, I saw 2 big scrapes about 20-25 yards away. So seeing those scrapes, that made me just think again, hey, maybe this could be a really good spot for pre-rut and the rut, just because there's so much sign there that I'm sure those bucks are running through there. So that is one idea to consider, and maybe for sure sit there a couple times next season and see what shows up. Along with those 2 scrapes, I did see some brubs along when I was walking and scouting. They're not huge, but they're not small either. They're just like maybe double the width of your thumb. So just good sign. Not super consistent, but you can tell that there's bucks going through there checking the does and all that. So along with the scrapes, that's really good info for me, and good intel for the next year. So for sure it will be a spot that I revisit next year when it's prime time for the bucks to move and when they're looking for does. So the key there at that pine thicket, I think, was very low pressure, if not any at all. Along with that, there's a lot of saplings, there's a lot of vines and brush and thorns, and so it's very hard to get a shot off. If I was on the ground out of a blind, you might just have maybe 1 or 2 clearings to shoot through, and then if they're beyond 30 yards, you'll never get a shot. So I'm glad I roughed it and climbed up in the tree just to have the vantage and to get my scent kicked up in the air more. So that was really I was really happy that I went ahead and climbed up the tree. But the biggest key is the vegetation. For some reason, that was everything that they were eating on in the same area. All the does were feeding on the same kind of stuff, but pretty much it's just green browse. There's no specific acorn or oak tree or anything else that they were really targeting. It was just that green mass of, it was pretty much just the green vegetation that they were going after. So that was pretty cool to see. And then they were just slowly feeding. Once in a while they would lift up their heads, and then I would just watch them, and then after that they would just go back to feeding. So looks like just by their body language, they were very comfortable. They felt safe even though the winds were swirling there. But then again, that's another reason why they were there, is because the wind is swirling. And I'm guessing for me getting set up in the tree, they were probably only 100 yards, maybe 150 yards bedded away. And so that was pretty cool. I'll have to check this area out again once the season closes, or once I tag my last deer. I for sure will take you guys along and then kind of go through that area, walk through and see if there's any beds or any good sign. There should be, just because of how many does that were nearby, and so I'm excited for that as well. All right guys, so in closing, episode 9, it is called the deer porta potty, just because of all the poop that I saw there. It was pretty amazing, unbelievable actually. Like I said, that was the most poop I've ever seen in a little area there. So pretty awesome to see that sign and also just set up on it. I just want to say thank you for you guys watching, liking, subscribing, sharing with your friends and family. Don't forget to participate in our Patreon page and look at the tiers and see what you would like to get into with me. And I would love to see you guys on maybe one of these episodes. That'd be pretty cool. So something to look forward to. So lastly, just want to say good luck and be safe to everyone. I know across the country here, there's a big front coming in, so a lot of the temperatures are going to drop, and the deer movement should be really good. So good luck to everyone. Be safe and stay tuned. I will be posting my results, and hopefully I can tag a buck tomorrow evening in the cold weather. So all right guys, take care, be safe. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks.